Hello there and a very warm welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I'm Victor Mathias. Now, following the commitment made by Google CEO Sundar Pichai in July 2017 to start the Launchpad Accelerator Africa program and train 10 million Africans with digital skills, the tech giant is formally throwing open a developer space that will see the pledge come to fruition. So today on the program, we will examine the digital skills that are relevant in the ever-changing digitally and competitive world. But before we do all of that, let's see what made the trends in the past week.
President Donald Trump has been cleared in his impeachment trial, ending a congressional bid to remove him from office. In a historic vote, the United States Senate acquitted Trump on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, FGM, is a United Nations awareness event that takes place on the 6th of February every year. The day is set aside to raise awareness and educate people on the dangers of female genital mutilation.
Well, there you go. Those were the trends in the past week. But joining us to look at today's topic, we have with us in the studio right here, Grace Akinoshun. She is the founder of SME Peaks. Thanks for joining us on the program today.
Thank you, Victor. Thanks for having me here.
Of course. We also have joining us via Skype from Johannesburg, Simufelele Zondi. Thanks as well for joining us on the program, technology correspondent for SABC.
Thank you very much for having me.
Fantastic. Kickstart the conversation for us. There's just so much talk around why people need to have digital skills in this era. What are digital skills in the first place?
So I would say digital skills are those skills that actually enhance your digital literacy. So, we've evolved from the machinery age. Now we're in the digital age, and there's a lot of information technology going around. So you need to understand and learn those things that actually make your relation and interfacing with this information technology very easy and seamless.
Yeah.
So those things that allows you to connect, those are digital skills.
All right, so why do we need them? I understand that, yes, we have evolved. How money-making are they, so to speak?
Okay, first and foremost, I wouldn't say the primary aim to acquire digital skill is to make money,
okay.
Right? The first thing is understanding the use and implementing it in your day-to-day activity. For instance, just understanding how to respond to an email, how to draw a conversation on Twitter, how to utilize WhatsApp effectively, how to arrange your files on Google Drive. Those basics, those fundamentals are actually what we need on a day-to-day basis.
So these are pretty much like the basics.
Yes.
But I'll come back to you in a bit. But let me just try to get some info from Sifu Melele, who is in Johannesburg, like I said earlier. So Sifu, we're looking at these skills. So how important are they for us or for people for everybody who needs it in this era?
Well, I think everybody needs these skills. So they're important for really just about everybody because we live in a digital world where digital literacy is key in order for us to survive, find new employment, find new clients, et cetera, et cetera. So everyone needs these skills. They really are important because they could also determine, and your decorum as well, how you carry yourself on social media could determine how your current employer views you, how your future employer might view you, how your future clients might view you, and whether they would want to do business with you or not. So it's important that not only do we know, for example, how to tweet, but the decorum and how we carry ourselves on Twitter and many other platforms that are similar, that are social media platforms. That's important.
All right. So there's also the debate around which of these skills, top the list. In terms of relevance and importance in this digital age. In your opinion, which would you say one should pay more attention to?
All right, so I believe that if you talk to just about anybody in the tech space and ask what jobs are jobs of the future of 3, 4, 5 years time, because things are evolving so fast, no one really knows what those are. But what we do know is that there is artificial intelligence that's taking jobs, physical jobs away, because as machines are coming in to do the mundane tasks, so the tasks that are repetitive, that were done by humans in the past. So I would say that what people need to focus on are their problem-solving skills. Those are skills that are going to take them into the future. People who have critical thinking skills as well, as opposed to the manual, repetitive, mundane skills. Those are skills that are going to be needed. I'm sure you expected me to say, well, you must know how to code. But while not everyone is going to be a coder. There will be marketers, there will be digital marketers, etc., etc. But what you do need are problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills going into the future.
All right, I'll come back to you again, but let me just quickly go to our Abuja studio where we have Temi Ajibawa joining us. Temi, it's a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Of course, you're welcome. So, I mean, we've been talking about digital skills pretty much. We try to look at the importance in this digital era or in this ever-evolving digital era. But, you know, so the thing is, a lot of people see the tech space now, so to speak, now as a male-dominated area. How can we bring women, so to speak, now into this to benefit from all of the goodies in this bag?
Okay, so I don't think there is anything like male-dominated or women-dominated. Women just need to decide to go in. And once they're in, they're in. Like, there's space for everyone. There's really nothing about bringing women in. Women are in already. They just need to take their place and then flourish from there. That's my opinion.
Yeah, which makes absolute sense. So basically now, like you said, it's a space for everyone to be in, which, of course, like you said, again, everyone is in there. But what are the specifics if you look at it? If you look at maybe first and foremost the numbers of maybe women and men in the space and how well or how more women can key and more men can key into the space.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think first we need to open our minds to the possibility. Like, the game has changed. Everything is digital, everything is online. That's the future of the world. So we have to position ourselves by gaining relevant skills, okay, for the next move. All right, so I'm talking digital skills like picture editing, video editing, copywriting. Now, no matter how beautiful the visuals are, someone needs to write some compelling copies to move the market. So men and women actually can leverage on all the skills necessary for this, in the space. Once they have the skills, I mean, there'll be high demand for that kind of person, and you just keep cashing out. So for me, I think going all out to learn the relevant skills will better position anyone, even a man or a woman, to leverage in this, in that cake, so to call it. So I mean, once you have that, you are good to go. So I would say photo editing, video editing, copywriting. It could be as simple as Canva. Learning to use Canva. Learning to use. Go on, please.
Oh yeah, no. So I'm looking at the fact that because out of all of this that you made mention of, I'm trying to figure out, or I'm trying to look at a scenario where people don't have to go out there. I mean, you have people, you have like per se now, for example, housewives. They stay-at-home moms. They need to have all of
they need
to, yeah, no. I mean, that's why I said, for example. I mean, I was just looking at that aspect. I'm being actually considerate because they need to stay at home for some reason best known to them, or either by choice. Of course, to take care of the family or take care of the kids or do some home chores and all of that. How do we bring people like that on board if they aren't?
Okay, Okay, so what I seek to do from my space is I seek to educate these people on how they can work from home by becoming virtual staff members of organizations. So I have 5 members of my team who don't resume work physically. We all resume on WhatsApp, okay, in a WhatsApp group. And then everyone, they all have their tasks. So if you're a professional HR, if you are a photo editor, video editor, social media manager, you can actually stay in your house, nurse your children, okay? Do anything at home. Just log on to your computer or your mobile phone, and then you can work. You can deliver these services from home. You can become a social media manager. You can become a HR consultant. You can do graphics designs, website designs, accounting work from home. All you need is.
Oh no, yeah. I was just trying to buttress what you were saying and also highlight the fact that apparently I'm not mean.
You know what?
I'm not mean, like you said, like you suggested earlier on.
Mean? No, you're not mean.
Okay, all right. I'll come back to you in a bit. I mean, Grace. So, I mean, obviously, like from what she's saying, I mean, you resume work from WhatsApp. Like that's a new one.
Working remotely.
Yeah,
yes.
working remotely. I mean, so and this as time goes on, we would evolve more. So that's just perhaps maybe one slice of the cake. Like you said, let me just use our own lingua. What other slices are there?
So, from my own end,
Yeah.
I think the approach to work, the execution of work is actually getting easier. It's getting more coordinated. For instance, did you ask how are you able to, relate with your team and interface and ensure that works are actually delivered when you're not physically supervising them? So tools like Trello, tools like Asana and other project management tools actually help you in that aspect. So that's another aspect that digital skills help you to feel. So from project management to documentation to checking whether or not a project is delivered, and even reminders. So you can set reminders on timelines. Oh, this timeline is about to expire, work on this project, and everyone gets allotted. I'm going to give you an instance. So Microsoft Word was been in existence for a long time. Those days, as far back as, say, 10 years ago, where you want to go for a job, the digital skills that we mentioned are, Microsoft Word, MS Word, PowerPoint, Access, and stuff like that. Right now, it's evolved to Google Suite and communication tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, Trello, Asana, and the rest of them. Google, for instance, Google Docs has an edge over Microsoft Word because it allows for collaboration. So you could be anywhere and even
access the same material.
You access the same material, you see yourselves, you interface and you relate. You see the corrections I make, you can chip in what you feel about a particular project, and it makes it easier. So there's these virtual offices, there are virtual teams, virtual companies, $1 million companies without a physical space.
Yeah,
so it's a big
that
deal.
I agree. But let me get to Sifumilele. Let me raise one concern. Sifumilele, so one of the concerns that people have raised, is the fact that as we go on, you made mention of artificial intelligence, and all of that, machine learning. One of the scares is the fact that machines might take jobs from humans. I think you also made mention of that. Is that actually going to happen?
Oh yeah, totally. Machines are already taking jobs from humans, but at the same time, new jobs are going to be created. What I think a lot of people are worried about are the jobs that don't require much skill to do. I do know that here in South Africa, for example, there've been complaints about that banks are already starting to lay off people because you don't need a bank teller anymore. Everyone is on their online banking, their banking apps, etc., and there are money transfer services and all these things. So you don't need physical bodies inside banks anymore. But at the same time, while that is happening, someone needs to manage that application, right? Someone needs to manage that website. Someone needs to communicate with customers, clients online. Those are new skills that people did not have in the past. So people need to retrain themselves in order to find out what new skills are needed in what's referred to as the fourth industrial revolution. And know that experience, let's use the banking sector, which we have been using as an example. You have experience in the banking sector, but the banking sector is evolving. How can you, as a person, evolve with the banking sector and give yourself these skills that are now needed so you are not out of employment when layoffs are starting?
The issue of security online is is also key. Where are we with that?
Well, yes, a lot of people worry about security online, and and there's reason to worry because we need to be vigilant because there are always people trying to get into our bank accounts, into accounts of the companies that we transact with, whether we're buying stuff online, etc., etc. That's why we need to have maybe 3-tier authentication processes when you are getting into your mobile phone. Have a password, have a fingerprint, maybe allow it to scan your face as well. The banks, what banks have started doing as well nowadays is that if there is a transaction that's taking place, they also send an SMS to a mobile number that you give them to actually verify that it actually is the person. Recently, what also happened to me is that I think someone was trying to use my email address to get a new email. So we need to be careful, or rather or use my email address to log on to a new device. They did not have the password, so that they were trying to change the password to say they forgot the password. But I then got an email, and read those emails properly, and don't just press yes when you get an email. Don't just press yes when you get an SMS. Read it properly to find out what it is that they want, and then block those things as they happen. Because a lot of hacking does not happen because a person came from elsewhere and stole your details. It's because you gave permission through not reading information properly when it came through
Pretty
on
much,
SMS
pretty
or
much. There is that. We just need to be careful even as we move into that space, right?
Yeah, we totally need to be very careful and very vigilant when we
All
do
right.
it.
Okay. Let's hope we don't get hurt as we embrace this emerging technology. I mean, emerging world as we move with the tides. Definitely. But Sifumelele Zondi, thank you for joining us on the program from Johannesburg, in South Africa. Thanks once again. Very well. So, Temi, let me come to you. We're looking at security in this very how would I put it now, rewarding era. Like you made mention of all of those beautiful things people can do from wherever they are. But you're looking at security now, and you're thinking, how do I keep myself secure? That's one part. Then on the other hand, you're looking at the fact that, okay, you have children who are also coming on board, on this platform, and you need to keep them safe from certain things online. How do we go about that?
Okay, so I think the deliberate word here is intentionality. Okay, you have to be aware of the risks available and then intentionally protect yourself, okay, around that. So you're careful who you share passwords with. You're careful how you use your passwords. You are careful, the times you use your passwords, and then even with your devices, they should be synced, okay? So that when somebody is trying to log in somewhere, you get the alert. And there are also what we call two-step authentication, I think.
Authentication,
so there
yeah.
will be secret questions like, what's your first dog's name? What's your maternal grandma's name? That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Funny as
So
they sound, they
if you
are
want
important.
to have those words, yes, yes. Then some even send keys. Even your WhatsApp now has a code. After using your WhatsApp for a few days, it will ask you for the second level, authentication keys. Those are things we should take to heart. People can now hack into WhatsApp groups. Once they steal a phone, they go straight to the WhatsApp groups they belong to, and then they begin to try to reset those people's WhatsApp numbers on new phones entirely. Now, if you have not set up a two-level security, they would gain access. And from there, you know what happens with your backup messages. They begin to see things, then all of that. So it's intentionality is key here.
All
As
right.
much as we are embracing the opportunities and then we are happy with the growth we are enjoying, we have to be aware
All
that
right.
so many evils
It's
can
out
be
there.
done with this same technology. And so
I
do
totally-
it, you know, with
I to-
that consciousness.
I
And
to-
I'm sure we'll be better.
I totally agree, but I'd have to say thank you as well for joining us on the program, Temi Ajbewa, from our Abuja studio.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So just in wrapping up, your own solution to the security problem, quickly.
Okay, so I agree with what she has said, being intentional about it. But one thing that is always the cause of concern for me is, are the service providers actually intentional about us getting the security? For instance, there was a particular time I was on my phone and I had a conversation with, someone having a eyes problem. The next thing I went on Google, I was being fed ads just for my conversation. So are these service providers, knowing that we can't really afford to do without their products, are they concerned about security as much as we are? So that's still a clause that we're yet to fill.
So in other words, they tap our information to take advantage of it.
Exactly, they do.
Well, hopefully the regulatory agencies will call them to book. I mean, it's happening already in the US.
It's
so
happening with
hopefully,
GDPR.
we have to, hopefully it happens here. But thanks as well,
You're welcome.
for joining us
You're
on the
welcome.
program
Thank you so
this
much for having me.
afternoon. Well, that's where we are. We'll be back in a moment with the movie videos on our YouTube channel in the past week.
You price it on the things, and the entrance is this small door that says staff only.
This week's top 5 videos begins with the shutting down of an Abuja supermarket that allegedly smuggled in products and animals from China.
Expiration date again 2037. And it shows that it's a sticker.
Yes, it's a sticker.
So I'm sure they have a lot of it, but they can just
Yeah,
change.
because
Sticker.
what it is this.
It doesn't expire, so they just keep changing it.
With me today here are my 4 respected wives. Halima can stand up, please. Go. 1. Uma, stand up. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
It is followed in fourth by the show-off of a member of the Green Chambers of his prowess in the home front.
These 4 wives you have seen have produced 27 kids for me, and I'm still counting.
Third spot is taken by the video of Senator Abaribe asking President Buhari to resign if the president can't handle the security situation in the country.
We elected the government of APC in 2015 and re-elected them in 2019. The reason why we re-elected them was that they continued to tell us that because they had the key to security, and the whole Nigeria voted them in 2015, and I agree with that. And I'm saying, Mr. President, when you want to deal with a matter, you go to the head. So we will go to the government and ask this government to resign because they can no longer do anything in this country.
I didn't want him to plan with anybody and take the money or run away with it. So I wanted to give him a mindset that there was a higher person.
The arrest of another suspect in connection to the Abuja bank robbery takes the second spot, while suspects narrating how they murdered billionaire businessman Ignatius Odunukwe takes top spot as the most viewed video in the past week.
It wasn't what I planned in my life because I didn't even think of killing anybody before then. Because what happened, I don't even know how it happened. Because he didn't tell us that he wants to kill the man. So once the man is dead and I don't have any other way to free myself, that was the reason I came back to help him and carry the body out.
It wasn't my intention to kill Chief. I have not done kid in my life before.
I invited him over the property sale, and I invited him to my hotel room. They came to my hotel room. Before then, they've already stationed in my room. So when he came, I screamed at him. At the point of trying to grip his fears, they were able to get him from the back.
And there you go. Those were the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. And that's the program this week as well. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias. And do remember, the conversation doesn't end here. It continues via the social media addresses showing on your screen, as well as the hashtags. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias. Bye for now.